Hey guys, this video is all about selling products online, that e-commercial business. Now, when I started putting this together to create a sell product online, it quickly became very big because there's so many different types of products. So I ended up having to split the video twice. Well, I actually split it 3 times because one of them is a Photoshop technique, which will be a separate video to itself, and I'll explain in this video when I get to that part. At this point, I'm going to focus mainly on clothing and accessories on selling online. So whether you're a photographer shooting for a clothing designer or someone that's producing accessories for clothing, this is some information that would be very helpful to you. If you are creating your own products that you want to sell online and you want better quality photos and some good photo ideas to help sell your products online, then this video is for you as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, like I say, this video is for the photographer that's shooting for a client to sell their products online, or you have your own products you want to sell online and you want better quality images. As I say, I had to split this because it was just too much. There's too many different types of products and there's different techniques for each, so I kind of divided it up. Now I am going to put some links down below to some of the techniques that I'll be doing, like isolating on white, shooting on various backgrounds. I'll put links to other product shoots down below, which will help give you the tutorial to be able to create those style shots. Here we're going to look at the type of shots that we're going to be doing. So as I say, we're looking at clothing and some general clothing accessories here on how we can sell these online. Whenever you're dealing with products that you're going to be shooting online, it doesn't matter what kind of product it is, you need to make sure it is in good repair and it is clean. So in the world of clothing, we need to make sure that it is wrinkle free. You can iron it or steam it, and that is my preference. I find it works very well and it's quick to do. You also want to use maybe a lint roller to get off any hair or lint that's on the clothing because you want your product looking its best. You want your client to be able to see it in its pristine condition. So make sure everything is meticulous is what I'm getting at. The first way we're going to look at in photographing our product is using a model. What better way to show off your product for clothing than actually showing it on a person? How many times, and I imagine all of you have looked online for clothing and it's on models. It helps you visualize yourself wearing that piece of clothing. You can do it in a bit of a kind of a fashion orientated. Here I've done a model on a gray background. Now if you notice though, I haven't just taken one photo of the model on a gray background, say to advertise the jeans. I've shown various different poses and positions of that model showing off the clothing. Now you have to remember, the focus is on the clothing, not the model. The model is help selling your product, but it's the clothing that is the product we want to sell. Now you also want to be able to show off that clothing, to show off your best asset to help sell the products. So someone can say, hey, my booty can look that good too in those pair of jeans. So you can do a bit of a fashion editorial like this on a gray background, or you can shoot the model on a less distracting background, although plain gray is pretty non-distracting. How about shooting them on white? Now your clothing really stands out because there's no distraction in the back. So you can shoot the model on a white background as well. So that's our first way of shooting clothing, is basically by using a model. And you don't just have to use one. You could use the gray background, plus you could use some of the white images, so you could have 2 different looks with it. The other thing that you might want to do is some close-up details. You want to be able to show that stitch work. Look at the pocket design and layout. So not only are you shooting the model, but you're shooting some detail aspects of the clothing as well. So that, as I say, that's our first way of doing it, is using a model and getting some of those detail images in there. Now, another common way of shooting clothing is what we call the flat lay. It's used in a lot of types of photography. It's essentially laying a big white background down on the floor, camera 90 degrees to the surface, shooting straight down onto your clothing. You get an image like this, looks pretty good. You can have fun with it. I could have put a pair of swim trunks with it, and I could have moved the arm positions of the shirt a bit and even almost made it so it looks like it was animated, maybe even in a run position. So you can have fun with it. Don't lose track of the focus is the product, which is the clothing, and that's what you're trying to sell. But flat lay is used a lot of times to show your product. Again, you can incorporate it with the model, so you can have various different looks. Now, you don't want to do a flat lay? How about we put it into a scene? We're taking our swimwear and we're saying how quick, fast drying it is. Why don't we help try and emphasize that point? Look at this little laundry scene I did with the swimwear. Yeah, I put it in a little bit of a setting to help emphasize how fast drying the clothing is, to help your client understand that so they want to buy it because they want fast drying swimwear. Another way that you can do it, you can take your clothing and put it in various settings to emphasize your point and to show your clothing and product off to its best. So that is another way to do it. There is one other way that you can show your product online, and you've probably seen it before. This is why I had to break the video and do another video to show this technique. Here's the photo here, and it's called the ghost mannequin technique. It looks like someone was actually wearing the clothing and poof, they're gone, but the clothing still has that shape of a body within it. Yeah, I know. The arms are wrong. The reason for the arms looking like that is because I don't have the proper mannequin in which to do it. I will get into a lot of detail about that in the video that I do on the ghost mannequin technique. I just wanted to show you the effect, and it's a way that you can do it. I could have put maybe a couple of bits of pool noodle up there to round out the arms, but I just wanted to show you the effect. So that's another way that you can photograph your clothing, is by having that look. But as I say, this ghost mannequin type look, it will be in a separate video for you, so you will be able to go through kind of step by step with it, so you can do that effect yourself. It's really not that difficult, but you do need a photo editor in order to do it. Just so you're aware of that. Can't do it in camera. Well, at least not that I'm aware of. Okay, so that was another way that you can photograph clothing and stuff. Now, if we look at some accessories, why don't we take that model that we had that had that purple dress shot on white, and let's give her a fur vest. Now I'm using a model again to help show our accessories, and I've got her on white, and I've kind of done a distant shot and I've done a closer up shot so you can have a look at it. Now, say you make hats or you decorate hats. You can shoot them isolated on white. Again, the link will be down below for that, but you can see how well that makes it stand out. Now, seeing the hat like that looks pretty good, but why don't we drop it on a model and have the model isolated on white? Now we brought that human element back in again, so you, as the customer, can visualize yourself wearing that hat. I don't know if it would suit me, but it probably will suit you. So using the model isolated on white works great. Now why don't we take that gorgeous model and put her in a setting. Here she is, a day at the beach, wearing your beautiful hat that you created on a beautiful model in that tropical paradise. Now your customer's sitting there going, wow, that's the hat I need for when I go on my Caribbean cruise vacation. I need that hat. Bing, bye. Different ways that you can do your photos of your products and your clothing to help sell them online versus just taking a standard shot. Incorporate these. You can use all these techniques together in one. Like if you go on Amazon, you go to buy a product, underneath the product, there's usually about 4 or 5 photos of that product, 360 degrees, what's included with it. You want to do the same for your products. That's what I'm emphasizing on this within the clothing and the accessory part, that you get all those shots that you need to create that epic photo series to help sell your product. Or you might just need that isolated on white to help sell your product. I'm just showing you ways that you can do it. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up. I wanted to keep it fairly basic. No, I didn't get into the lighting and everything else on it. If you want that type of information for it, leave comments down below and I'll see what I can do for it. This was just the style of shots that you need, and that you need to take multiple shots and multiple angles in order to be able to sell your product more effectively than you have been. Stay tuned for the video on the ghost mannequin. Also stay tuned for another video on products for, like, say, makeup, body wash, those type products, soaps, things like that you might be creating, because there's some different techniques used for that. So look for that video as well. As I say, I had to split it 3 times, or I would be sitting here probably for another 10-15 minutes, and you wouldn't want that. It would get awful boring. So anyways, that's it for this one. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're aware when I post new videos like this. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. So until the next time.